What's up, y'all? I'm Tyler with Team NuCanoe National, and today we're going to be upgrading my Unlimited for the bow mount with the HD motor wiring kit, part number 7161. So this kit comes pretty much set up to go in your boat. It's got a new wiring harness with a new plate. Comes with the two ends already crimped on from the factory. We have the other end that goes to the trolling motor with crimps already installed, and some heat shrink tubing, which I'm gonna slide off because I'm setting mine up for saltwater. So we're gonna put some dielectric grease in there and pack it full, and then crimp these and then shrink the tubing. That'll help with corrosion. And then we have our battery connection, which is just gonna go in your to your battery on your battery box, and it's already crimped. Everything's installed. It's got the weather tight fittings, so good stuff there. And last but not least, the other end that goes on to your trolling motor. So, or that's just the plug. Your plug slide into this, and then it hooks up to the other Anderson mount. And we got a Yak Attack through-hole kit, which, because I've already got mine set up with a NuCanoe plug, I'm gonna swap everything over to this other side. So you'll get to see all that. I may just run it on the same side. But anyways, let's get this started. Now, because I'm abandoning my old kit, I've already moved my bow mount plate out of the way. You can do that. Oop. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this plate. That'll free that up. And see, I've already got my wire pulled, so I'm cheating a little bit. You can use a fishing tape to pull your wire through, or whatever you want to use. But I'm gonna tape my wire to this one and pull it through, so that I have easy access to it. I'd already cut a hole in that. You're gonna have to drill a hole in this. The NuCanoes don't come with that hole already, but mine already has it, so I'm fortunate I don't have to do that. Let me get some tape. We're gonna pull the new wire in and go ahead and put that new plate down. All right, got my new plate. Like I said, this thing's already set up. It's got the Yak Attack through holes already mounted. So we're just gonna take this, stick these together, and tape them up, so I don't lose them pulling them through the hole. All right, I'll set that down and we'll start pulling these in. And then put your screws back in. And then we mount our bow mount plate back down. All right, let's go move to the back, and we'll see how everything goes back there. All right, unwrap this. All right, and we're left with these two ends. And now we want to go ahead and find a place to mount or make our hole for our Yak Attack for the through hole. Probably gonna put mine right here beside this NuCanoe plug. I've got that one siliconed in, otherwise I'd move it out the way. I'm just gonna figure out where I want to punch a hole out here, and I'm going to drill that out so these wires can go through that. And that should be big enough. Then we just put our wires through there. There's one, there's the other. Put that on, this one on, slide this on. That's just going to go on, and then we'll slide that all the way back. This is your Anderson plug, and we want the negative to go on the negative side, obviously, and the positive, they're both labeled. Slide that through there. The connector, simple connector, they got little metal tabs on the inside. They're also labeled negative and positive. Slide that in like that. That one's in. Positive one goes in like this. There it goes. All right, those are in there. Slide the environmental boot back up, and that part's set. Now I just gotta drill my holes to mount the Yak Attack through hole in there. Drill my little holes. You don't want to put these in super tight. And that's the other side of your power plug. All right, now we got all that done. Let's get the battery set up with the ends and cut the ends for the trolling motor so they match up with the Anderson plugs. All right, so like I said, I had the NuCanoe plug that I'm no longer using. So we're just gonna cut that, leave us a little bit of wire left. All right, don't need that anymore. And we're gonna use the Anderson plug that came with the kit. And like I said, I'm running salt water a bunch, so I'm using dielectric grease to help prevent corrosion. So on the back sides of these, I'm just going to put a little bit in there. This will just help keep the water from getting in there. They do give you heat shrink tubing also, but we're going to double up on the protection on this. And of course, we're going to put the black to the black. That's the negative. Then we're going to get our positive, the red to the red. Get a good crimp on that. And then I'm just going to use a heat gun and simply heat these up. Got those sealed. All right, we can go ahead and move this out the way. So ideally we'd put a breaker on this, depending on what you're running battery wise and motor wise, and make sure you got the sufficient amperage. But just for today, I'm just going to put this on here to show you. We're going to put our positive on, and you can get whatever battery box you like. People use black packs, use a regular old battery box, but I would suggest you put something over your investment. Don't run these things straight like this. You can, but like I said, that's up to you. Make sure everything's good. Plug our two Anderson plugs together. All right, we're hooked up there, and then we'll go mount up the motor on the front and see what we got. All right, so we got the XI3 mounted up here on the bow. We got our through hole running right here with the power. Got our other end of the connector from the trolling motor installed. Pop these caps, plug that bad boy in, and we got power. So just like that, pretty simple and easy. Highly recommend this for any of you guys that are wanting to run bow mounts on your boats. It's got the right gauge wire, it's thick, heavy gauge wire, so you're not going to have the fire hazards and other miscellaneous stuff that people have encountered. The plates come with it, so it mounts right up. You pretty much just order it and go with it. So the hardest thing you have to do is pull the wire from one end of the kayak to the other. So anyways, y'all, hope this helps any of y'all, and let me know if you got any questions. Hit us up.